Okay, so this is for our extra credit first one. Well, the first thing we're going to do, we're going to see that we're going to highlight our title. So, friends can improve health, well-being, especially during the holidays. So we know we can assume that this is going to be an informational text. Next. Okay. Now let's look at our image. We notice that there are 3 girls. And it looks like they're all having a good time because there are definitely smiles. The girls having a good time hanging out. All right, and then our caption underneath here says, friends spend time together at Christmas market. All right, so this is definitely going to be about friends just hanging out with us. Now here, once again, this is our preface, right? This tells us information about our story, information about our passage before we read it. This article is about how to nurture meaningful friendships during the holidays and how investing in these relationships can have positive impacts on one's health and well-being. So those are going to be our key points that we're going to be looking for. For many of us, spending time with friends can be a meaningful way to celebrate the holidays. For some, friendships have become more than social relationships. Friends are proxy families, and they may be better than the real ones. So our main idea that's going to be all about this one paragraph is spending time with friends can be meaningful to celebrate the holidays, right? And then some of our key details is that friendships have become more than just social relationships. Now, most may not know what the word proxy means, so we're going to circle that and we're going to look it up. Friends are proxy families. So using our context clues, we can assume that this means like it's a substitute word. So friends are proxy families. They may be better than the real ones. So this is a substitute. Friends are substitute families, and they may be better than the real ones. Go to our next page. Researchers have found that these personal connections may be more beneficial to one's health and well-being than family relationships. And at a time when loneliness has become a public health crisis, with young adults saying they feel lonelier than older generations, studies show that investing in friendships pays off. According to Mayo Clinic, these bonds can help reduce stress, increase happiness, and bolster self-confidence. So our main idea here is researchers have found these personal connections may be more beneficial. So personal connections may be more beneficial to one's health and well-being than family relationships. So, is it possible that friends are more than family? And at a time when loneliness has become a public health crisis with young adults. So loneliness has become a public health crisis, but for young adults, saying they feel lonelier than the older generations. Studies show that investing in friendships pays off. Now here is one of our facts, right? According to Mayo Clinic, these bonds can help reduce stress, increase happiness, and bolster self-confidence. So here they're using our data. So let's make sure we highlight this in a different color. So we know that this is definitely a fact because it has been credited. With the hectic schedules, finding time to nurture these relationships can be challenging. But the holidays provide an opportunity to renew these bonds, giving us a chance to deepen what friendships expert Shasta Nelson calls frientimacy, the intimacy between friends where both people feel acknowledged in a safe and satisfying way. The first thing I notice here is that we have an expert, right? So it says friendship expert Shasta Nelson calls frientimacy, which this is a new word for us. So we're going to definitely circle this. But we also know that they give us our definition. The intimacy between friends where both people acknowledge in a safe and satisfying way. So here we have a new word with the definition along with a fact. Now, what is our main idea? Our main idea is that finding time to nurture these relationships can be challenging, but the holidays provide an opportunity to renew those bonds, giving us a chance to deepen. So we are definitely, with this hectic schedule, finding time can be challenging, but here they're saying the holidays are providing us that opportunity to renew the bonds. There are 3 requirements for healthy friendships: are positivity, consistency, and vulnerability, Nelson said. So we know that this is a quote. She tells us that there are 3 requirements for a healthy friendship. And it's positivity, consistency, and vulnerability, which means, we might not know this word, means this allows us to be open to others. That means we feel safe around them even when we are in doubt. A few intentional behaviors can help these relationships, give these relationships a boost. So, intentional behaviors will give these relationships a boost. Now, here's a subtitle. So, we're going to highlight this. So, now they're going to tell us the different acts of kindness. So, ways to be kind. Many people feel pressured to buy loved ones the most ideal gifts, which can cause more angst than joy. A survey conducted by the American Psychological Association found that 27% of Americans often feel stressed about money during the holidays, while 47% occasionally feel obligated to buy the perfect present. So many people feel pressured to buy loved ones the most ideal gift. And we know sometimes that's just not safe for us to do. And it even tells us that it can cause more angst than joy. We probably do not know what this word means, so we're going to circle it. You can look it up. And we're going to write our definition out to here. But it makes more anxiety. Okay? It stresses us out. Here is a fact. A survey conducted by the American Psychological Association found that 27% Americans often feel stressed about money during the holidays, while 47% occasionally feel obligated to buy the perfect present. So we know that here are our details. Feel stressed about money, and 47% feel obligated to buy the perfect presents. With that in mind, consider giving friends non-material gifts like acts of kindness. So here, instead of buying a gift, just do something nice for them. Even small gestures can make a difference. So here's our main key detail right here. Nelson suggests leaving a heartfelt voicemail, making plans to spend quality time together, or attending a friend's holiday event, like their child's winter recital. So there are different ways to make sure that we are making our family, our friends, feel loved. Studies reveal that these generous acts can increase joy and emotional well-being. Acts of kindness have also been shown to produce oxytocin, the hormone responsible for cultivating attachment and special bonds. And I probably pronounced that incorrectly. Studies reveal these general acts can increase joy and emotional well-being. Showing up tells friends that we're thinking of them and adds positivity to their lives, making them feel loved. And remember, Nelson is our expert right here. Now, our next subtitle says, Extend an Invitation. So this would be making people feel wanted. The holiday season can be an opportunity to foster closeness with a newer friend. So here's what also the holidays can do. But stretching beyond our more intimate social cohorts and can feel uncomfortable. If we've invited a new acquaintance to socialize and they haven't responded, we may assume that they've written us off. But unlike dating relationships, this behavior is an indication that burgeoning friendship may be doomed. So, new. So, stretching beyond our more intimate cohorts can feel uncomfortable. That means making new friends can bring us anxiety. But if we invited a new acquaintance to social and they haven't responded, we assume that they've written us off. By saying that it's not, there's a chance that's not what it is. Friendships may hesitate to contact each other, believe that initiation needs to be 50-50. And a lot of people, and I've seen this, say it has to be, but sometimes your friend needs a little bit more from you and you need a little more for them. This is rarely the case, Nelson says, and she is definitely our expert, so we want to make sure we highlight that. Take advantage of the season by making plans to shop together, watch a holiday movie, or grab a cup of tea. These activities can also be meaningful to friends going through tough times because of an illness, divorce, or other kinds of loss. So let's take advantage to make plans. Nelson plans can be shopping, can be just watching a holiday movie, or grab a cup of tea. These activities can be meaningful to friends going through tough times. Empathy, researcher and social worker Kelsey Crow, so here's another expert, so we're going to highlight this, said friends going through a tough time often need extra support. Friends going through a tough time need extra support during the holiday season. The best gift you can give is empathy. And I know we've talked about this in class. Spending time together, paying attention, and listening are ways to show compassion. So spending time together, paying attention, and listening. And we have a hard time doing this time. We hear, but we don't listen. This is a great way to show compassion. Now, our next subtitle says, Appreciate the Differences. So we're all different in some ways. So we enjoy what makes us different. At times, conflict is unavoidable even with close friends. We sometimes have those issues where we don't always get along, but we are still friends. If you get into a dispute over hot button topics such as politics during your holiday dinner, respectfully express how you feel and then let it go. This is probably part of the hardest thing to do, at least for a moment. So if you get into a dispute during your holiday dinner, respectfully express how you feel and let it go. It's very hard for a lot of us to do. Emotionally charged topics can cause us to lose our cool, but taking defensive stance widens the difference between friends. So, taking defensive between friends. So, this makes friends, when it says defensive stance widens the distance, it means friends go time without talking. Accept that you will not win the argument or change anyone's mind, said relationship expert Venus Nicole. So, relationship expert. You have to ask yourself, do you want to be happy or do you want to be right? So you need to accept that you'll not win the argument or change anyone's mind, and you have to ask. Sometimes being happier is way better than being right. Instead of trying to alter your friend's viewpoint, share your feelings by saying something like, I feel sad that we're arguing, instead of respecting our differences. Studies on conflict resolution suggest that expressing one's feelings in this way can help distill the tension between friends. And I think this is our main idea right here. Studies on conflict suggest that expressing one's feelings. So here, they gave us an example. Our key detail, and they told us what the whole main idea is. Share your feelings. Okay. Once you've cleared the air, find a way to reconnect. So this is very important for us to do. You might redirect the conversation by discussing a shared interest, or reminiscing about a happy holiday memory, or talking about upcoming plans. So change the subject. Okay, and this one is just to agree to disagree. The holidays can bring unwanted stress, but disagreements can be an opportunity to turn conflict into connection. So here's our expert. Holidays can bring unwanted stress, but disagreements can be an opportunity to turn conflict. While the see, I almost missed a spot. Write a letter. This is another opportunity. While the holidays bring loved ones together, not everyone feels joyful during the season. And this is very true, especially if they have a loss of a loved one. It's normally really hard. The holidays can leave us feeling lonely, especially if we compare our lives to the romanticized ideal of a vibrant social circle with lots of parties and friends, Nelson said. Furthermore, feelings of sadness and disappointment may arise if dear friends live far away. So we have feelings of sadness. But even if distance makes it tricky to see each other, old-fashioned letter writing can be done one way to reconnect. Now, you can always write a letter, be handwritten. You can now do email or a text or even a phone call. Digitally created holiday cards may be cute, but they hardly feel special. Instead of seeing curated photos, friends want to hear about your personal experience. And here is another, we're going to assume is an expert. When penning your letter, now this means writing. We've never heard it this way before. So this is just writing your letter, get personal and specific. Tell your friends how much they're missed. If a certain holiday song or movie reminds you of them, mention that too. Because people like to know they are thought of. Being vulnerable in this way can encourage friendsmacy. Now here's that word again. Remember, and it was from our expert. Even with friends we don't see regularly. Ask intentional questions. So it means asking about them. And when catching up with friends, so this is going to be about catching up, our expert recommends transforming these conversations into something more intimate by asking intentional questions. Instead of updating friends on your holiday plans, ask thoughtful questions. What was a holiday tradition in your family when you're growing up? Or, as a child, what was your most memorable holiday gift? So, instead of that, we ask thoughtful questions, okay? What was a holiday tradition? As a child, what was your favorite memorable holiday gift? Or just ask about what they like. Open-ended questions. Now, you know, these are the ones that you can't answer yes or no. So they open up. You have to explain it. So open-ended questions, such as these, show that we are curious about our friends' lives and can help transform chit-chat into a deeper dialogues. And remember, our dialogues is conversation. Whether you like to connect with an old friend or forge a new friendship, take the time during the holidays to foster these intimate relationships that provide health benefits throughout the year. So, whether we connect with an old friend or make a new friendship, foster, into that, provide health benefits. And that was our main thing about the whole article, was health benefits throughout the year. Now, you are going to answer these questions and bring it back to me. Now, very last one, though, it says explain. I want you to make sure you understand this. They're asking for an explanation of how the author develops the key idea that meaningful relationships can improve emotional health. Use evidence. So remember, you are going to use ACE. You're going to answer your question first. So it would be the author develops the key idea by, And you're going to finish this, right? And that is your first sentence. Then you're going to cite. Provide a quote from the text. And then E, explain why you chose it.